Hi guys, how are things? So we're back, and we're back with well, a very sad story anyhow, and we're in Dunleary this evening. It's the 4th of September, and on the 4th of September a young girl, 17 years of age, Rene Moray, lost her life in this area. Now, Rene worked in here in Sally West, and after she finished her shift at 9 o'clock she came across the road here to this bar here. It was then called Scott's. She had a few beers with her friends anyhow and was making plans for going out that night, so she made her way home, which would have been a 15-minute walk. She would have headed in this direction. We're heading in the general direction towards her home. Now, the 15-minute walk, she left at 11:20 from the pub, so she should have been home by 11:35. However, there was a sighting of her at 12:03 at the crossroads of Corrick Road up here. We'll point it out when we arrive at it. So the big question is, why was she murdered? Who murdered her? And what happened in those other 28 minutes? There's 28 minutes that hasn't been accounted for. And this is a trip that she'd have been making on a daily basis, and I'm pretty sure a Friday night, the 4th of September 1999, she was eager. She'd just finished her work shift and she was eager to get out with her friends and have a good night. So you wouldn't have been dilly-dallying at your way home. You'd have been gone up that road knocking sparks off the concrete to get home and get into your nightclub clobber and get back down the road and have a laugh with your mates, as any 17, 18 or 19 year old would. This case, it is the most exhaustively investigated murder case in Irish history, and I don't know how many statements were taken. I can't remember. I do remember reading through something about it, but I know there was over 200 people of interest within this investigation. Now, Dunleary, within the 6 Garda boroughs within the Greater Dublin area, this is statistically the borough that you're least likely to be murdered in. So it is considered to be a very safe area and quite a Tony area, I suppose. You know, there's a lot of predominantly middle class area around here. It was a balmy night like this. It's 19 degrees here this evening. We know she left the bar and made her way home without even wearing her coat, which you probably could have done that tonight as well. My mind boggles with this case because 34 times Rene was stabbed. Now, I know some of those stab wounds were superficial, but it's beyond me what a 17-year-old child could do to warrant such extreme violence and hatred. And like, what the hell really did go on that night? Now, we know that just a bit of kind of history on the time, 1999. It was a year that a really big movie of the year, and we're myself and Natalie are big paranormal fans and haunted fans. So a film came out called The Blair Witch Project, which was highly successful anyhow. The Green Mile also came out that year, and Britney Spears arrived on the scene with Hit Me Baby, and that was one of the big hits of the year, just to give people an idea of what was going on at that time. Now, Rene was, as I said, she had just received her leaving cert. I think she didn't get sufficient points to do the course she wanted to do, an arts degree in UCD, so she registered to repeat her leaving cert in the Institute of Education in the city centre. Her father had been recently promoted to principal of a school locally, and Jim, and her mother Deirdre was, to my knowledge, a psychotherapist. She had 2 older siblings, Daniel and Sarah, sadly was the one that found her on the way home when she got out of a taxi and made her way up this road, you know. So it was along here, just at the crossroads back there, the last set of traffic lights, that she was positively ID'd at 12:03. So that's you know, 43 minutes after she was actually left the pub, and she was seen with a youngish male there. Now, in the build up to this, we do know that something happened in a nightclub where she went to one of her friends' houses and refused to head home until such point in time that she could get a taxi. Now, I think that was that about 7 weeks before this, Natalie?
Yeah, 7 weeks, and she had been in Paparazzi's nightclub.
Yeah, so I wonder, does that have something to do with it? And then we also have the scenario of the guy that got into the taxi with the bloodstained clothes, the guy that looked a little bit, this is the walkway up there that she would have taken, the guy that looked a little bit like one of the Gallagher brothers, and then there was, of course, a couple of chefs and a heroin addict, I think, brought in to question, who had committed some violent act on a female in Wicklow. Now, there was also a female friend that was meant to be aggressive and had some sort of Republican connections. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Like, I mean, my thinking on it, and you know, I it's very, very hard to try and figure this one out, because it's just it's really, really difficult for me to fathom how a 17-year-old could have someone that would do this to her, you know. She's so young. But I like, I mean, definitely somebody knows something, and like, I mean, in my thinking, it was most likely premeditated. And you know, would a person that had stabbed a person to death minutes earlier gotten into a car, would they have worn white coloured trousers that would have shown blood stains on the night? Would they have done that? Like, I mean, somebody had enough wherewithal about them to plan this murder and get away with it 24 years down the road. That's still no one has been brought to justice. So I'm doubtful if somebody would have done this and would have actually gone out and done it in wearing white coloured pants. So I don't know about that one. Like, I mean, how was there, I know there was female DNA taken from underneath her fingernails, but surely there must have been some other transfer of DNA when someone was stabbed 34 times. And like, I mean, she died clutching her Sally West bag, and she had crawled the guts of 70 yards. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, well, I mean, that violent friend that they were talking about, you know, she had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend, I think, had a bit of a thing for Rene.
Yeah,
we read.
So, like, possibly but a very extreme act of jealousy. Like, we know Rene did have a boyfriend at the time, and he was working in a bar on the night at times. So, like, I mean, it's very extreme though for an act of jealousy, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's I don't know. This is one of the cases that we have covered that has my mind absolutely boggled, because I can't comprehend what happened to such a young, like, a child. She's still a child. You know, like, Rene today would be only 41 years of age. She'd still be a young woman, you know, and we have to understand this. It's absolutely horrendous. Obviously, a family will never get over something like this. And look at this area; it's a Tony area. So what we're going to do here now, I'm going to pull in here, and we're going to take a walk up the laneway here. What's known as the cut. The laneway is known as the cut. Okay, guys, so this is what's known as the cut. and a balmy evening, just like this evening as it is, and you can hear the tennis balls bouncing from the tennis court, tennis club here. So Raonaid would have made her way through here. I'm sure this is a trip that she'd have made many a time. It's a shortcut. There's a shortcut similar to this where I live in Bray, and sure, I've been up and down it all the time. The poor girl, and I say girl, she was only 17, a child. She was stabbed 34 times. Now some of the stab wounds were superficial. 4 of the stab wounds were very, very severe. But this poor girl crawled her way through this, trying to make her way home, and died clutching her Sally West bag. It's a horrendous thought to think that she died, a 17-year-old child, on her own in this lane, and whatever perpetrator, whatever callous person that committed this crime has still yet to be brought to justice. And what a horrible experience, not just for her but for her older sister to come across on her way home, and then for her family to try and deal with to this very day. So we're getting back into the car now. Okay guys, so we're back in the car now, just going up to Glenageary, at the Glenageary roundabout, and just a few ideas regarding this whole case. There's a few people have been put in the mix with it. Graham Dwyer is one of the people that have been put in the mix, and the guards have decided to exclude him from any further investigations. So I guess that's him out. Farah Swali Noor, that man that was killed by the Scissor Sisters, the Mulhall sisters, he was put in the mix, and apparently he had told people that he had killed Raonaid. Now, I don't know, but I do know that that man has he had a history of sex offences, and he raped a girl. So we know that Raonaid wasn't sexually assaulted. So I don't know, like, I mean, if he would have changed his characteristics and character traits so much if he did that, but look, who knows. He was definitely living in the country. He came into the country in 1996, claimed to be a Somali refugee, but he was actually from Kenya. The only other people that we really have is this aggressive female friend, so-called friend, and we have the we call him the Gallagher brother guy, and that guy that got in the taxi. Now, me personally, and look, these are just my opinions, but I don't think, like I said earlier, someone that had the wherewithal to get away with this as far into the future as 24 years probably wouldn't have worn white trousers on an evening knowing what he was going to do. And I wonder what happened. I really, me personally, I wonder what happened that 7 weeks beforehand in the nightclub that warranted Raonaid to wait for a taxi to get home. And I wonder, like, I mean, there's a lot of reports about her carrying bags afterwards and stuff like that. Was she actually carrying a knife herself? Had she been threatened, and was she worried about her own safety? And was that what she was carrying in the Sally West bag? Now, this is just my theories. I'm just looking at stuff and trying to throw the pieces around the board a little bit, because whatever way the pieces lie up to this point in time, there's no answers have come. And, like, I mean, this is, look, all the cases we cover, I really wish that the family could get some sort of closure, but this one is absolutely horrific altogether. The family set up a website on her 10th anniversary, and that had to be promptly taken down. And we also know that her graveside, and that was somewhat desecrated, and crosses pulled these were acts of absolute hatred, and really unfathomable for a girl that was getting on with life. Like, I mean, at 17 years of age, she hadn't been working in Sally West all that long, and she had been entrusted with the key. So, any 17-year-old is given a key for a shop. That tells you absolutely volumes about that individual and the type of person that she was. Clearly, she was a very, very reliable person, very well liked, and I can't just, for the life of me, this is one, and anyone that's watched any of the videos that we've done, I've nearly always had an opinion about stuff. I don't have an opinion about this one, other than I really, really wish it could be brought to light. Like, I mean,
something that you did, sorry for cutting in.
No, work away.
Something that you said that I haven't heard before. Nobody's ever kind of come up with this. It's just an idea. What her mother worked at.
As a therapist. Yeah, and I think she specialised in some form of child sex abuse and stuff like that. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Maybe somebody took a dislike to the mother or whatever as a result of that, and vented their retribution through Raonad. Who knows? Like, I mean, I know people could watch this and go, well, that's very, very far-fetched, but, like, I mean, it isn't any more far-fetched than a poor 17-year-old girl that's been murdered in the laneway. Anything is, like I say with most of these cases, any cases that haven't been solved, if it's not impossible, it's possible. Okay, so you can't rule anything out with these. What I would like, and this is not with just this case, but this one in particular, but all the cases that we cover on these, people, if you're commenting, make the comments nice and positive and helpful. If they're not that, they're not going to stay on the page or any format that we're using, because you're dealing with an awful lot of anguish, pain and suffering for families with these matters. And you know what, we're not covering these cases in the anticipation of getting 5 new likes on a Facebook page or YouTube followers. We're covering these stories in a way hoping that somebody might retrospectively look back and have the key to unlock this mystery. And stranger things have happened.
Well, like some of our family members, my mother was abducted as a child, so...
And I was abducted myself as a child on Halloween night, and God knows what, terrible things happen out there, and,
And somebody tried to abduct you when your father was a bit late from collecting
from a karate class, yeah.
So twice, I mean, you were nearly abducted. Yeah. Your sister was taken away.
Yeah, your mother, yeah.
For a walk.
Yeah, so, like, this is one case I'd love to see the family getting a little bit of closure on. So guys, please be very respectful in the comments if you're commenting. If you don't have something positive, helpful or respectful to say, sure, you know what, jog on and don't say anything at all. That's what I would prefer. It would save me time and Natalie time and effort of removing any of these negative comments. So guys, I hope to see you soon, and maybe next time we'll be back with something that will actually be ghosty and paranormal. But we just couldn't overlook tonight. Like, it's 24 years tonight, and we are recording this tonight on Monday night, and we are going to upload it tonight. So thanks for dropping by, guys, and please, if you know anything, contact the Dunleary Garda Station. Take care, guys.